Hey, I don't know about you. You're free to disagree if you want, but, things are looking pretty good for the Detroit Red Wings right now, aren't they? Today, we are diving into the results of yesterday's Red Wings and Kraken showdown. We'll be highlighting some of the awesome notes that we had seen from that game, and some of the extra stuff around the Wings and about the Wings shortly after. Because make no mistake about it, folks, there is a time and a place to go out there and make a fluff commentary to just talk about how good things are. And right now is that time for the Detroit Red Wings. And I'm personally very happy to be able to talk about something like this, because if you haven't noticed, my other two teams that I follow in the NHL are, kind of slipping and sliding down the slope a little bit. It's a tough year for my Vancouver Canucks. Engagement is down. Folks don't really care about the team as much as they had in years past, and a lot of that has to do with belief or disbelief in roster construction and the captain's willingness to stay with the team. Montreal started out hot, but then they've faltered a little bit. The negativity has started to arise in that fan base, so I gotta give a shout out to my Detroit Red Wings for being there when a guy like me needs them the most, to be able to spread positivity and actually talk about something with excitement. Because yesterday, the Detroit Red Wings ended up defeating the Seattle Kraken 4-2, and getting over that illustrious hump that you could say was Joey Dacord's return to NHL action. I said yesterday in the pre-game video that we made about the Wings and Axel Sandin-Pellikka's promotion to Power Play 1 that, hey, Joey Dacord is really solid, and it's going to be pretty difficult for the Wings to be able to beat him, especially since he's getting a shot of adrenaline by re-entering the NHL after his IR stint. But alas, the Wings got it done. 4-2 final score, as we had said. They beat Joey Dacord technically 4 times, but one of those goals was called back offside. Anyways, yesterday we saw some more guys contribute offensively that we needed to see. And this is the perfect opportunity to talk about just why this is such a big deal for the Detroit Red Wings, because we mentioned this in yesterday's video commentary as well. This season, holistically, you can say that pretty much every forward outside of Lucas Raymond, Dylan Larkin, Alex DeBrincat, and Patrick Kane was struggling offensively. We mentioned Marco Kasper, and now he only had 3 points on the season. We spoke out about Emmitt Finnie and how he kind of stopped producing as much as he did in the preseason these past few weeks over here. Of course, there's always a conversation to have about a comfer or a cop, what have you, but yesterday's game against Seattle finally saw some production from the Wings that did not just come from the top guys. Yes, you did have Lucas Raymond and Alex DeBrincat scoring 2 points apiece, but you also had Nate Danielson with a goal and an assist. You had Emmitt Finnie scoring himself a goal. Nate Danielson could have had another one, a beautiful deke to the backhand to beat Joey Dacord, but that was called back for offside. Boo-hoo, it was so airborne, it's hard to track that. But Nate Danielson got himself on the board. Axel Sandin-Pellikka got another assist today. Power play's getting to work, folks. Emmitt Finnie, power play goal. Nate Danielson's first NHL assist. Nice to see the second unit actually go out there and find the back of the net, despite the fact that, second units in the NHL rarely actually get those opportunities. But if there's anybody that needed to get back on the score sheet, I'd say it's Emmitt Finnie. Good on him to bury in that chance that he had received in front. The Red Wings, with yesterday's victory over Seattle, have now propelled themselves to number 1 in the Atlantic Division one more time. And the best part about it is, they're also number 1 in points percentage in the Atlantic. The Red Wings are legitimately the best team here. And with that in mind, it is a very tight race for these wildcard spots and this Eastern Conference race in general. I mean, you look at the Eastern standings, there are 2 teams in the Metro that are better than Detroit, so obviously it's going to be a pretty big race to the finish once playoff time comes around. But the Red Wings are in probably the best spot they've been in years, just acknowledging the results they've had and who's going out there and giving it to them. Like Dylan Larkin, for example, who had scored his 600th NHL point yesterday. It's about time, man. The guy's been so good, so strong this season, totally shoving it into the face of all the haters who went out there and complained about Larkin's performance last year, especially post Four Nations face-off. Oh, he's unmotivated. Oh, he's beefing with Yzerman. Oh, he's disappointed that the Red Wings didn't add anybody. They had to address that privately. There were issues that you could say were reasonable conversation points to have, and we've talked about those on the channel as well. But now, seeing everything work itself out in 2025-2026, where Dylan Larkin is a way over point-per-game player, he's on pace for 100 points right now. The team's winning, they're one of the best in the East, and Larkin is consistently making those around him so much better. This is all of a sudden becoming the best-case scenario kind of year for the Detroit Red Wings. And sure, there were some hiccups along the way. Heck, why am I even talking about it like that? There will continue to be hiccups along the way. We're only a quarter of the way through the year. But having 25% of the games played and Detroit as number 1 in the Atlantic, that's a pretty good stepping stone to build off the rest of your season from. And a lot of this has to do with the young guys. This is a post posted on the R Detroit Red Wings subreddit that I wanted to go out there and talk about. The way Todd McLellan has handled ASP the last couple of games is more evidence of how good he is with young players. He benches Axel Sandin-Pellikka, then sits him down with Yanni, and then not only resets, but also gives him the reins on Power Play 1. He continues to allow these young players new challenges and gives them opportunities to grow. And it obviously isn't charity. We all know ASP was born to run the Red Wings power play. It's what he does best. It seemed like Lalonde was scared, or he just didn't have the relationship with Yzerman, who is notoriously conservative with young players. McLellan is a nice counter to that mentality, which is healthy, I think. He gives young players a lot more opportunities than we have seen before, and that's why I think he's a good fit for this organization, and him and Yzerman fit well together. Now, that's a pretty astute observation. I'd go out there and say, yeah, Todd McLellan has had a pretty good track record so far with the youth. A lot of these guys coming into the Red Wings organization as prospects and with a lot of excitement equipped as well, only for them to show off that they actually do have the talent to back up that hype. Even if you don't last the full season in the NHL like Michael Brandsegg-Newgard, you can still amp up that excitement even further. And heck, for some of these other young guys that have been here for a while, you see even more incredible stats popping up, like this one, posted by Bar Down earlier in the week. Turns out the Moritz Seider and Simon Edvinsson pairing is the second most efficient pairing this season. They have a 61.9% goals percentage, which means that out of all the other pairings in the NHL, this is the pair that gets the second most goals for versus against in the league. That's ridiculous. Edvinsson and Seider, of course, the talent was always going to be there with Seider. We knew this, we expected this, we understand this, but Edvinsson is now going out there and providing value as well. I mean, there are so many good things to talk about with Detroit. I tried to fit them all into a video here, but it's hard when there are so many positive narratives right now. And that's not even fully talking about the Seattle game. I don't want to treat this video like a post-game review, but essentially, that was one of many things that I think we can highlight as positives in the past little while here for the Red Wings. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about how things have gone the past little while? How long do you think the Wings will hold on to this first place spot in the Atlantic? And do you think it brings them that much closer to the Stanley Cup Playoffs? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.